started because our agenda is about to begin shortly. Mohon perhatian kepada Bapak Ibu untuk dapat segera menempati kursi sesuai dengan nama masing-masing karena acara akan segera kita mulai. Terima kasih. May we have your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen? Kindly be seated on your assigned seats because our agenda is about to begin shortly. Thank you. Mohon perhatian kepada Bapak Ibu. Bapak Ibu, kami persilakan untuk menempati kursi masing-masing sesuai dengan nama yang tertera, karena acara akan segera kita mulai. Terima kasih.
The International Islamic Liquidity Management Corporation, IILM, plays a pivotal role in addressing liquidity management challenges that are faced by institutions offering Islamic financial services worldwide. IILM develops and offers top-tier cross-border Islamic liquidity management instruments that strengthens the Sharia-compliant liquidity management infrastructure. Backed by the strength of 9 shareholders, the IILM maintains a robust governance structure. The board members of the IILM ensures meticulous oversight of its activities. The IILM's US dollar short-term sukuk is structured as a Sharia-compliant asset-backed commercial paper, currently designed for regular issuance of varying tenors up to 12 months. Backed by a pool of privately placed medium to long-term floating assets, the IILM Sukuk program is presently rated A1 and F1 by S&P and Fitch. The program adheres to rigorous legal and ring-fencing criteria, aligning with Sharia principles and structured finance rating methodologies. Investors of the IILM Sukuk papers holders have the assurance of ultimate recourse to the underlying asset pool and a robust regulatory treatment that complies with Basel requirements. IILM is committed to achieving the highest Sharia standard, including the highest tangibility ratio within the asset portfolio. At IILM, we ensure a transparent and efficient issuance process, facilitated through a global network of primary dealers and established international banks. The prices are determined via a competitive auction process, resulting in a fixed profit rate for each series. With a strong track record of successful issuances since its inception, the IILM Sukuk is currently denominated in US dollars. The proceeds from IILM Sukuk are strategically invested in sovereigns, government-related entities, and supranationals through privately placed medium to long-term assets having a minimum single A rating. The IILM continues to source for funding opportunities for its asset origination that meets the organization's eligibility criteria. With a global investor network, the IILM Sukuk program is designed to help you stay ahead of the curve in case of a liquidity crisis. It's your passport to effective cross-border Islamic liquidity management. IILM, your trusted partner in Sharia-compliant financial liquidity management. For more information, please check out our FAQs or contact issuance. The International Islamic Liquidity Management Corporation, IILM, plays a pivotal role in addressing liquidity management challenges that are faced by institutions offering Islamic financial services worldwide. IILM develops and offers top-tier cross-border Islamic liquidity management instruments that strengthens the Sharia-compliant liquidity management infrastructure. Backed by the strength of 9 shareholders, the IILM maintains a robust governance structure. The board members of the IILM ensures meticulous oversight of its activities. The IILM's US dollar short-term sukuk is structured as a Sharia-compliant asset-backed commercial paper, currently designed for regular issuance of varying tenors up to 12 months. Backed by a pool of privately placed medium to long-term floating assets, the IILM Sukuk program is presently rated A1 and F1 by S&P and Fitch. The program adheres to rigorous legal and ring-fencing criteria.
May we have your
aligning
attention,
with
please,
Sharia
ladies and
principles
gentlemen.
and
Please
structured
be
finance
seated.
rating methodologies.
Please be seated
Investors
because
of
we
IILM
will start
Sukuk paper
the
sizes
seminar
have the
in a
assurance
few
of ultimate
moments.
recourse to the
Mohon
underlying
perhatian
asset and a
kepada
robust
Bapak Ibu
regulatory
dan para
treatment
peserta
that complies with
seminar
Basel
dan
requirements.
forum ini untuk dapat
IILM
segera
is
menempati
committed to
kursi
achieving the
masing-masing
highest Sharia standards,
karena acara akan
including the
segera
highest
dimulai.
tangibility ratio
Terima
within the
kasih.
asset portfolio. At IILM, we ensure a transparent and efficient issuance process, facilitated through a global network of primary dealers and established international banks. The prices are determined via a competitive auction process, resulting in a fixed profit rate for each series. With a strong track record of successful issuances since its inception, the IILM Sukuk is currently denominated in US dollars. The proceeds from IILM Sukuk are strategically invested in sovereigns, government-related entities, and supranationals through privately placed medium to long-term assets having a minimum single A rating. The
His
IILM
Excellency Governor
continues
of
to
Bank
source for
Indonesia,
funding
Bapak Peri
opportunities for
Warjio,
its
and the VIP guests is now entering the seminar room. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem, Indonesia Raya. You may all be seated. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. His Excellency Bapak Peri Warjio, Governor of Bank Indonesia, Senior Deputy Governor of Bank Indonesia, and member of the Board of Commissioners of the Financial Services Authority Indonesia, Excellencies, Governors of IILM Governing Board and representatives from embassies, Directors of ministries, banks, academia, distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome to the Bank Indonesia, International Islamic Liquidity Management Corporation, Islamic Financial Services Board, joint high-level seminar and investor forum here in Assembly 3 at the Jakarta Convention Center. Today we gather to explore the theme of the future development of the Islamic financial industry, regulatory framework, market, and players. I am Widya Rani Hapsari, honored to be your MC today. Ladies and gentlemen, this seminar is an opportunity to share insights, discuss regulatory frameworks, and strategize for the continued growth of the Islamic financial industry globally. We hope today's session will provide valuable insights and foster collaborations to enhance the sustainability of Islamic finance. To further bless our gathering, let us now listen to the recitation of Holy Quran. Please welcome our esteemed Qori, Ustadz Sunarto.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Lillahi ma fis samawati wa ma fil ardh. Wa in فيغفر لمن يشاء فيغفر لمن يشاء شيء قدير والله على كل شيء قدير صدق الله العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you, Ustaz Sunarto, for the beautiful recitation. Next, we are honored to welcome His Excellency, Bapak Peri Warjio, Governor of Bank Indonesia, to deliver the keynote address. Please join me in welcoming His Excellency, Bapak Peri Warjio.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Islam teach us three things that relate to this seminar. I will always saying this, so to give motivation and spirit to this seminar. One, continue make progress. Always, Islam, progress, 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 progress. Today must be better than tomorrow, tomorrow must be better than today. Progress. Number two, values. Islamic values. For Islamic finance, economic values, which based on number three, cooperation, jamaah. That's the three spirit we making progress for Islamic financial services for our ummah, creating values of Islam together. So, I welcome my dear fellow of governing board of IILM, which is I'm the chairman of governing board. I also welcome IFSB, Islamic Financial Supervisory Board, which is I am a member of governing council as well as chairman of executive committee. Of course, my daily profession is governor of Center Bank. Distinguished speakers, participants, ladies and gentlemen. So in today's seminar, I ask each every one of you to contribute for this very important seminar. How we can make progress of Islamic financial services based on Islamic values, but cooperation, jamaah. Ladies and gentlemen, every time I ask my board of members, especially also my director of financial market development as well as my research management, give me more sukuk. None. Give me more liquidity instrument, very small. But also how to create values for our ummah. This is always bugging me every night, every day. This is why I'm delighted to give this seminar, and I'm very fond of you guys, my brothers and my sister, all of the speakers and also participants, let's contribute. Let me just cite the following 5 points how we can make progress creating Islamic values together for Islamic financial services. Today, tomorrow, to be better. Let's work together. This seminar is about that. Number 1, product innovation. Product innovation. Islamic product innovation, which is very limited. I just want to focus on 3 products on financial services in Islam. 1, sukuk. 2, takaful. 3, akaf. Just focus on that. Khalifah Umar has been our leader in progressing these 3 aspects. Sukuk, tafakul, and especially akaf. To be the best financial instrument for creating progress values based on Islamic values. Let's talk this product innovation. You guys know better than me how to create more sukuk in Indonesia and global. Indonesia is the highest sukuk issuance. We are probably about 5 billion US dollar. The second is Islamic Development Bank and others. But we need more. Because without sukuk, how can we progress Islamic financial sector? Because sukuk is already established, product is already there. What we need is how to bring about this demand, teach them, help them to issue more sukuk. Distinguished speaker, give me how to create more sukuk to meeting so many demand of Indonesia. I think Malaysia is also the highest sukuk issuance for SOE, for others, for government, product innovation and sukuk. But of course also takaful. And the third is about awqaf. So many assets eligible for awqaf, but we need to help them to product innovation and awqaf. Not only product issuance, but how those make more liquidity. IILM, Safri. Working together, product innovation and sukuk, not only issuance, but how those sukuk can be used for liquidity. And this aspect, this is more how to help the country and the corporate as well as the ummah to be able, not sitting in your desk in the office of financial services, go out there to create more sukuk, offering takaful, as well as number 3, awqaf. This is number 1, sukuk, takaful, as well as awqaf for corporate, for small, not only issuance, wholesale, but also retail, liquidity, and so on. This is the challenge that we have. Number 2, which is actually how to introduce that through digitalization. Digitalization already progressing and will speed up the issuance of sukuk, takaful, and awqaf from wholesale into retail. We already progressing in the conventional financial services. Issuance of the sukuk, how can be as underlying for short-term liquidity not only in the large part, but in the small. And we can offer through digitalization. Because Indonesia is one of the fastest growing digitalization of the payment services. And we are introducing digitalization on the money market as well as FX market. But when we are creating more sukuk for the retail, introduce in the digitalization of financial services, then voila. There is no enough sukuk. Indonesia, in our monetary instrument, we have Bank Indonesia Rupiah Certificate, which is conventional. So many that we issue, almost about 900 trillion rupiah. But we also issue the same monetary instrument based on Islamic sukuk. But we do not have underlying. How can we issue instrument and monetary if there is no underlying? We have very limited, what we call it Indonesia SBSN, Syariah Government Bond. There is no corporate government, corporate sukuk yet meeting the criteria. This is why we have difficulties in introducing money market. But once there, then actually we create short-term liquidity, small part of the instrument through decision. Everybody, the youngster there can buy. Digitalization create more product innovation. But then digitalization also making integrated financial services. Bank still there, non-bank financial still there, but the financial service will be integrated through digitalization. Digitalization, the fastest growing to introduce product innovation from wholesale to retail, as well as also integrated financial services. Yet, of course, we will talk later on about risk mitigation. But number two, digitalization. Number three, we talk about integrated financial services. So when we talk about sukuk for primary market, please talk also sukuk as underlying for secondary, underlying for liquidity instrument. When we talk about this securities companies, manager, portfolio manager, about integrated financial services, because everything will be digitalized. Everything will be integrated through digitalization. Financial institution, in the future, I do not know whether it's matter or not, because financial services will continue being integrated through digitalization. So number three, integrated financial services. From commercial bank, through non-bank financial institution, as well as also insurance takaful, and also social finance institution. In the future, and already we are seeing integrated financial services. So number one, product innovation. Two, digitalization. Making number three, integrated financial services. Institution does not matter anymore. Integrated financial service matter from wholesale into retail. Number four, this is that make my sleeping every night becoming harder and harder. Not only thinking about innovation, digitalization, integrated financial services, but as governor of central bank, then how can I introduce policy to create those? So in today's year, you are better than me in the financial market. Set light on those three aspects. Then what actually regulatory framework that me as governor central bank can introduce. We are doing so much thing in the financial services of Islam. As I said, we cannot issue more on Bank Indonesia sukuk instrument monetary because there is no enough underlying sukuk. We have the power to digitalize, but there is no product. This is so. As number 4, as Governor Central Bank, I will listen to you, industry. Then what regulatory framework that I will be issue. Of course, that will be on policy of our money market and FX market development. But in Indonesia, we have financial system stability, as well as also a forum for financial market development for financing. We continue struggling on this aspect, not about how the policy need to be framed, but on how to introduce innovation, digitization, and integrated financial services. Number 4 is not about only regulatory policy, but also about risk management and supervision. Under today's digitization and the future continued digitization, of course, risk management is very important. One of the most important thing on this aspect is risk mitigation on the cyber, as well as also operational risk. It's very important. So number 4 is about policy, regulatory framework, risk management, as well as also cyber security and also anti-money laundering. That's a part of we work together in Bank Indonesia, OJK, as well as Minister of Finance under financial system stability. Number 5, the last one, which is financial services, education, and literacy. This is very, very important. While product innovation will be continue growing, digitalization continue accelerating, integrated financial services continue be formed and reformed, as well as policy framework, regulatory, risk management continue being developed. Then the last one is very important, because we have to see the ummah. And when the financial product being retail and digitalized, then the knowledge of ummah is very important. Not only the knowledge about the product, but also how to be secure in this digitalized financial services. This is what Ms. Friederika Widyasari Dewi will talk about. And Budestri will talk about financial market development. And you guys from the financial market on the product innovation. So I think that's the 5 things that I'm very hopeful from this seminar. So I asked my staff, Dadang, and I said, please make summary of this to this seminar in the 5 key issues. How we do the product innovation, sukuk, tafakul, and okaf from wholesale into retail. Number 2, how can we introduce those product innovation from wholesale and channeling to retail and to end to digitalization? It's very important. And 3, how we have to foresight about integrated financial services now to the future. Number 4 is about policy framework, regulatory, risk management, including cyber, anti-money laundering, and operational risk. Number 5 is about financial literacy, education for ummah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always bless us in this gathering to progress based on Islamic values and jama'ah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Governor, for your inspiring words, but please remain on stage for the group photo. We would like to invite our speakers, distinguished moderators, to join the group photo together. Once again, to all moderators and speakers, please join us on stage for a group photo. We will take 2 pictures. The first one, let's have a formal pose. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. And now for the second pose, we ask you to place your right hand to where your heart is beating. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may all be seated. Once again, we thank you, Governor Perry, for opening the seminar. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our first session, current development of the global financial system. This session will provide an overview of the current challenges in the financial industry from a global perspective. It will cover several important issues, including the impact of digital technology, which is changing how finance works. Okay, and I would like to say hello to Professor Benjamin Dennis and Mr. Abdullah Haron. Thank you for joining us via online. And ladies and gentlemen, this session will also look at how geopolitical tensions are disrupting global supply chains, affecting trade and economic stability. And additionally, it will discuss the growing importance of sustainable finance, focusing on the need for responsible investments that consider environmental and social factors. And to moderate the session is Dr. Dadang Mulyawan. He is currently an Executive Director at Islamic Economic and Finance Department in Bank Indonesia. His areas of interest cover financial supervision and regulation, financial assessment both at the macro and micro level, and Islamic economics and finance. And now please join us in welcoming our moderator for this session, Dr. Dadang Mulyawan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yeah, it's of course a great pleasure for me to moderate this session, which is very important for the future development of the Islamic financial industry. And I would like to also invite you to join our prominent speakers and panelists. Two persons, Professor Benjamin Dennis and Mr. Abdullah Harun, Alhamdulillah. They are joining from Washington, D.C. Welcome to the session, professors, and Mr. Abdullah Harun. And may I also invite four others, distinguished and prominent speakers. Number one, Excellency DG Adnan. May I welcome you to come on the stage. Excellency Senior Deputy Governor, Ibu Destri Damayanti. And then Excellency Ibu Kiki, Deputy Commissioners of the OJK, and Ms. Aminat Amani, Assistant Secretary General of the IFSB. Welcome. In the sessions, Alhamdulillah, we will have a chance to see how the Islamic finance should go, to which directions the regulatory framework should be designed. And I would like first to invite Professor Benjamin Dennis. Good evening, professors.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. So, professors, we have already read a lot of paper written by you in the discussion series at the FED, which discuss about the green economy, and then which is very important and really relevant to the future development of the Islamic finance. So if you can share me in the next 6 to 7 minutes, it's quite short, about what is the key message and how the industry can strike the balance between the efficiency and the concordance towards the green economy to the future. Of course, we can see, damage in the environment that can give a kind of climate change and so on. But from the economic perspective, what is the feasibility and the viability when we want to implement that issue into regulatory, and of course, without jeopardizing the efficiency of the industry? Please, professors.
Yes, well, once again, thank you so much for having me. I remember fondly my years in Jakarta and my time at BI. I'm now also doing some central banking, only this time with the Federal Reserve Board, where I'm one of the principal economists. And I work in policy planning and strategy in our supervision and regulatory division. So trying to think about the kinds of risks that my colleagues don't really have time to sort of think about. I'm not here representing the Fed, and anything I say shouldn't be taken as the position of any of the Board of Governors or the other staff. I'm here in my capacity as a researcher, but I'm very glad to be here because I think this is an important challenge, and perhaps as I lay out some of the things that are affecting the financial system and that the discussion is circling around, perhaps there are innovative ways that Islamic banking can meet these challenges. So the kinds of things that we think about increasingly are transition risks on the one hand and physical risks on the other. Now, where there are risks, there are certainly opportunities to address those risks. But let me take each of those in turn. Transition risk is the risk that, because of changes in technology, changes in policy, or changes in consumer preferences, certain sectors might find themselves stuck with stranded assets or losing favor in the marketplace. And if one can sort of foresee that certain sectors are vulnerable, it then becomes important to think about what will happen to the asset prices of firms in that sector. So that's transition risk, under the assumption that the global economy transitions to net zero emissions. Physical risks have to do with either chronic changes in the environment, such as increased humidity, higher sea levels, longer droughts, rainy seasons. So there's chronic things that will happen year after year. And then there are also acute damages, which I'm very much thinking of hurricanes from the US perspective, as the state of Florida and other parts of the country have been hit by hurricanes this season. And these risks don't necessarily occur every year, but when they occur, they can cause billions of dollars in damages. So how does this affect the financial system? Well, the financial system is more than just one single entity such as a bank. In fact, it is an interlocking set of actors working together to meet the demand of consumers and to provide critical services to the economy. I think that one of the interesting lessons is just how much we depend upon different parts of the financial system to work in concert the way that they always have. So, for example, when you decide to buy a home in the United States, you typically go and take out a mortgage from a bank or some other financial lender. And that mortgage requires that the home is a good credit risk and is insured. And so the value of the mortgage, if it's sold on to other buyers, depends upon a robust insurance market to function. What we're seeing now is that insurers have been surprised by the strength of some of the hurricanes and other climate damages that have occurred, and have begun to increase prices significantly and to withdraw from certain markets. As a consequence, the value then of the mortgage assets has gone down significantly in some circumstances. Now that people are tuning into the fact that there is this interaction, not only between lenders and the insurance industry, but also between the backstop provided by the government, we're starting to look at the system as a whole as the unit of analysis among the research community to sort of think about how that system functions. So in the same way, I would encourage you to think about the systemic nature of the financial partners and the underlying markets on which Islamic banking systems rely. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity there to consider what types of insurance or community arrangements can help provide mutual supports.
Okay, thank you very, very much, Professor. It's very clear. I have taken notes for four key words from you. Number one is asset prices and safe transitions. Number two, interlocking mechanism that leads to number three, a systemic approach, which finally will lead to how we can shape the customer preference. So at the end of the day, of course, system has to entertain the buyers, and then it's for the systems to really entertain them. So thank you very much, Professor. If I can move on to Bapak Abdullah Harun. Yeah. Bapak Abdullah, I want to, bring this issue to the challenge of the global financial market when it relates to the Islamic finance. How do you see from your perspective the challenge that lies ahead, and what kind of policy at the global level and also followed up with the national level about the Islamic finance in the future?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Similar to Professor Ben, I have to put a disclaimer up front on the view expressed in this event, others of my view, and not necessarily the view of the IMF, its executive board, or even the IMF management. So I think I would like to draw key messages from the recently concluded IMF World Bank annual meeting, where it focused on the several critical areas, which eventually I'll touch on the impacts on the Islamic financial system. First, the key message is on the global economic recovery, where the global economy is moving towards a soft landing with steady growth and moderating inflation. However, the progress has been uneven across different jurisdictions. Well, Islamic finance actually, despite such challenges, I think it presents also some opportunities for the Islamic financial industries, and they can leverage this stable global economic environment to expand their operation or even introduce new Sharia-compliant products such as sukuk, mudarabah, musyarakah, more wider. Second key message is on the geopolitical tensions, whereby, as we all know, ongoing conflicts and geopolitical uncertainties continue to pose risk to global financial stabilities, and this could lead to higher funding costs or debt rollover risk for Islamic financial institutions as well. As we know, Islamic financial institutions are not operating in silo, and it's operating, interconnected with the rest of the financial system. But then again, the Islamic financial institution can mitigate this geopolitical risk by enhancing their risk assessment frameworks and diversify their investment portfolio across different regions or sectors, and thus reducing the dependencies on any single markets. Third key message is on the debt sustainability. As we know, over 2/3 of emerging markets and developing economies are at the high risk of debt distress. Islamic finance, I think, with its principle of risk sharing and ethical investment, it could play a crucial role, and also providing an example to the conventional system in providing more sustainable debt solution. And in fact, Islamic finance, I think, can offer alternative financing option that promote economic stability and growth going forward. Fourth key messages from the annual meeting recently is on climate change, where it remains a significant challenge, and even it has been highlighted by Professor Ben. Especially for us, we are looking at the small island developing states, and that is where it calls for more affordable climate finance and innovative strategies to mobilize private sector investment. There will be a growing demand, I think, for a sustainable sukuk and other green financial products to fund climate change mitigation measures. And we can see that the issuance of green sukuk by the IDB to finance renewable energy projects in member countries, and this should be enhanced further. Fifth key messages, as we have heard from His Excellency the Governor, is in technological advancement. The IMF actually has expanded its initiative to include artificial intelligence, digital currencies, and climate change. And these advancements are actually shaping the future of the global financial system. And in fact, it is also shaping the future of Islamic financial system. And this could lead to a more efficient and transparent financial services, as well as new investment opportunities for Islamic finance. Sixth key message is on the financial stability risk, and I think Islamic financial institutions will need to enhance their risk management practices and also ensure robust regulatory framework to maintain stability. And I think the last key message that we highlighted in the annual meeting recently is on the gender equality. And the new targets for boosting economic opportunities for Islamic finance, I think, where women actually can inspire Islamic financial institution, whereby the Islamic financial institution can develop gender-focused financial products and initiatives, and even supporting the women empowerment and economic participation. So these are some of the key messages that has been highlighted in the recent annual meetings at the IMF World Bank, and those implications towards the Islamic financial services industries. And whether the Islamic financial system need to have a dedicated standard of systemic risk assessment, I think we need this question. We must remember that the Islamic financial services industry is not operating on silo, and probably we need to consider 3 points. First, we have to look at the balance sheet of the Islamic financial services industries, and whether it's crucial to explore whether they can exert similar or different threat to Islamic financial services industries. That is the first point to consider, to look at the balance sheet. And the second point to consider is the increased interconnectedness, which implies a broader transmission and contagion risk, especially during times of financial distress. And because this is actually affecting not only a specific sector, but also extending to other parts of the financial system and the overall economy. Third point to consider, the financial interconnectivity, the characteristic of an open and integrated global financial system. And this, actually, the relationship between Islamic banks and conventional banks can be a major source of contagion risk, as conventional non-banks may keep their liquidity reserve in the form of bank deposit, be it in conventional and also in the Islamic banks. So all in all, I'm not saying that whether we need to have this dedicated standard systemic risk assessment, but these 3 points to consider, and also some other additional parameters we need to include, for example, in terms of Sharia compliance, the PLS mechanism, asset-backed financing, equity investment risk, rate of return risk, displaced commercial risk, which has been highlighted also by the IFSB in several of its standards. I think I'll stop here, and probably if there is more questions during the Q&A, probably we can elaborate for some of these points. Over to you, Dr. Dadang.
Thank you very much, Bapak Abdullah. Very enlightening. So I took your message that compatibility is very important, because Islamic economic and finance does not operate in a silo. So again, this poses a challenge to us, particularly for the regulator authorities and including the standard setting body, that we have to be able to bridge the connectivity and develop the stability eventually. So if I can move on, Excellency Bapak Adnan, we know that Malaysia has already progressing to an advance in Islamic finance. Can you share with us the recipe in order Malaysia can withstand any unforeseen future shocks, and then to further support the economy of Malaysia?
Thank you, Dr. Dadang. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Firstly, I'd like to thank Bank Indonesia, Dr. Dadang, and also Ibu Destri here for kindly inviting me to speak on this panel. I'm always very honored to attend Bank Indonesia events, and I'm always very impressed with the organization. So thank you and congratulations for that. When it comes to our development journey in Islamic finance, we started out with, and we've always taken an ecosystem approach. And this also plays into your question, which is, what are we doing to ensure that the system is resilient and can withstand shocks. I think one of the basic foundations has to be ensuring that the legal framework is sound and it's solid. And we have over the decades that we have developed Islamic finance, one area that we have always paid attention to is ensuring that the legal framework is up to date. And we first developed the Islamic Banking Act and Islamic Takaful Act in the 80s. And later on, we updated and this act, we transformed it into the Islamic Financial Services Act in 2013. And this is the current act which encompasses all the activities, and also the regulatory role and the scope that Bank Negara as a regulator can undertake. And on the other side of that, I should also mention that the Securities Commission has also developed a comprehensive Capital Market Services Act, which helps to govern and to all the activities in the securities market. So that's one. And the next one is on Sharia frameworks, where at the apex we have a Sharia Advisory Council that basically has its role to ascertain the law, to ascertain the law that will govern Islamic finance activities. And they are the reference body, which actually we have legislated also for our courts to have to refer to the Sharia Advisory Council rulings in ascertaining or in judging over disputes in Islamic financial transactions. And besides that, we continue to have various platforms to develop ongoing or to push ongoing initiatives to develop the Islamic finance and also the Islamic financial market. And among others, we continue to look at our existing standards. Like right now, we are looking at the application of ta'awun, and we have in Takaful, and we are also undertaking a review of our Sharia standards, our Sharia contracts, in order to simplify some of the Sharia contracts that govern the financial transactions. We have 14 Sharia contracts currently that govern all the financial contract, that covers 14 contracts that covers all of the financial transactions in Malaysia, and we're looking how we can simplify and also encourage wider use across, and not just have the market players focus on particular contracts. I think the other step that we took is to develop a highly diverse and well-capitalized financial institutions. Our capital requirements that we set on Islamic banks are very similar to what we set for the conventional banks. There is no differentiation, and even the same holds for the Takaful. So ensuring that the standards are the same, but at the same time, nudging the development of the Islamic finance sector has always been a strategy for us. And today we have more than 100 financial institutions that offer financial services across a range of sectors, from banking, Takaful, including peer-to-peer financing, as well as all the ancillary services that are there. And the third one that I would like to highlight is ensuring a robust financial market infrastructure, and this includes in managing the liquidity risk. We really view a deep and resilient financial market as a cornerstone for the finance system. And we have always taken steps in developing the interbank market. It always has been a deliberate strategy. When we started out the development of the interbank Islamic money market in the 1990s, when there were more and more institutions being developed, there was a need to enable intermediation between the institutions. And today all our Islamic financial institutions are participating in the Islamic interbank market as a source for them to manage their liquidity. But we view, as a regulator, we view the role of the Islamic financial market as really crucial to increase the capacity of intermediation among the Islamic financial institutions. And for that, 2 years ago, we set up Islamic Finance Market Committee as one of the subcommittees of our Financial Market Committee, and we happen to have the co-chairs of the Islamic Finance Market Committee today, my friend from Afin Islamic, Hanif, and also I think my colleague from Bank Negara, Shahreza. So it's a central bank industry platform to develop the Islamic financial market. And I have very high expectations of them. But they have come some way to develop some initiatives. I think among them was more recently, the last 2 years, they have developed arguments and a position which was put forward to our Sharia Advisory Council to enable anticipatory hedging in Islamic financial transactions. And the other, and there are also other areas that they are developing, including collateralized Sharia compliant collateralized funding. But one initiative that we are undertaking at the broader level is to promote greater investment in Malaysian government investment issues, which is the sukuks, the government issued sukuks. And we're also looking at how to promote or improve the corporate sukuk market. So this is the role, the task and the role which we are expecting our Islamic Financial Market Committee to deliver for us. Yeah. And lastly, for the Islamic financial system, I think one of our thrusts in recent years is on value-based intimidation. And this value-based intimidation, which we launched in 2017, encompasses a whole range of turning Islamic finance activities more into purpose, into impact, and this covers not just environment, social and governance matters, but also beyond that, that the Islamic financial institutions, when they undertake their finance activities or whatever activity that they're undertaking, they have a set of principles, set of guides or values that they are embracing in the conduct, in the business practices that will hopefully advance the impact that Islamic finance makes. So more recently, the Takaful has also, our Takaful sector has also embraced the value-based intimidation. They just launched earlier this month the Makasid Syariah scorecard. So there's a drive for our Islamic financial institutions, including in the capital markets as well, actually, to ensure that they go just look beyond finance and try to achieve greater impact on social and in particular on environment, and see the activities in this perspective as well. And it's not, while we emphasize a lot on Islamic finance, actually value-based intimidation is quite universal, and we are happy to see that of course with greater focus on climate risk, on social issues, even the conventional system is rising up to the occasion. But we're also happy that, quite pleased to see some financial institutions already ahead of this, because we've been working on it for quite some time. So I'll just stop there, Dr. Dadang. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Excellency. It's always nice to hear a walk talk, Malaysian experience. And one thing that I learned from you, Excellency, that, again, like it's been echoing by Excellency Governor Perry, is continuous improvement. So we have to develop, I've been following the development of Islamic finance in Malaysia, and then it hasn't been stopped of, innovating products, and eventually the one that lastly you said, about the Makasid Syariah, I think it also confirmed, the trend, the global trend, which, we can also observe the joint statement of the IFRS and also GRI. It's actually the effort how to combine values into the economics transactions. Thank you, Excellency. If I can move on, Ibu Destri, can we hear from you about the perspective of Indonesia in developing and optimizing the contributions of Islamic finance to both stability and economic development, and perhaps you may also share with us beyond the commercial. Is there also, initiative to develop kind of social finance in Indonesia? Time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Pak Dadang. Very good morning to ladies and gentlemen. Please allow me to respond your question. First, I'm very interested with what Mr. Harun from IMF said, that Islamic finance cannot develop or run by himself or on a silo matters. It should be collaboration or jama'ah, like what Governor Perry mentioned early this morning. And this is also what Bank Indonesia is doing so far. Even though we want to develop our own money market instrument, we cannot work alone because at least we need some underlying if we want to issue the money market instrument. However, what Bank Indonesia has done so far, we have a very good collaboration and cooperation with other authorities, like with Ibu Kiki from OJK, and also our colleague from Ministry of Finance and others institution, in order to formulate strategies for Islamic money market development. Because in our view, Islamic finance is very important in Indonesia right now. If we look at the economic Syariah growing very fast, but Islamic finance grow a little behind compared with the economic Syariah or Islamic economics. However, we start with the money market first, because I think if we can improve the liquidity in our money market, then gradually this also will attract another instrument and improve also others commercial Islamic instrument. Because we believe with the improvement in money market, then liquidity will be ample, and also we have some resiliency from external shock or liquidity shock. So, to respond what your question, we so far already established an innovative product for interbank money market. This is in order to make our money market to become more efficient, and also to improve the transmission from our policy to the money market, especially for Islamic money market. At this right now we have two instruments. The first, we call it as a SIMA, and this is actually is Mudarobah Interbank Investment Certificate, and the other ones is SIPA, and this is the Certificate of Fund Management based on Sharia principle. And as of September 2024, the average daily outstanding of SIMA and SIPA already reached 280 million US dollars or 4.4 trillion rupiahs. And for SIPA, it's reached around 134.7 US dollar or 2.11 trillion rupiah. And this is average daily outstanding. And the number double from previous years. Even though if compared with a conventional instrument, still much behind, but at least the progress is there. So as Pak Perry mentioned, there are three things that we have done so far. We focus on the progress, and then the value of the instrument itself. We will come back to Pak Dadang asking about the social instrument for Syariah. We also developed that. And the third, the jama'ah, as Pak Perry mentioned. We are doing jama'ah, we are doing collaboration, whereas Islamic banks in Indonesia, even though not as many as conventional banks, but they are now become the member also for Apufindo, which is Apufindo is the association of all banks in Indonesia. So we have a very close collaboration with them. We received a lot of input, as Pak Perry mentioned, because the expertise actually coming from the industries. We are the regulators, but industries know in detail what kind of instrument, how should we operate, and so on. So that's why with Apufindo, Islamic banks and conventional banks, we are very close and we have meet regularly, and we have some commitment to deepen the market, to increase the liquidity, and also to contribute the monetary and financial system stability. So that's from the monetary policy side. From the macroprudential policy, Bank Indonesia also allowing the Islamic bank to exercising the macroprudential policy, such as loan to value, and then macroprudential liquidity policy like KLM, and other incentive like down payment, which is 0% down payment for housing as well. And as of September 2024, Islamic banks has already received 3.41% reduction of reserve requirement ratio, which is in normal is around 9%. But if those banks give or lending some certain sectors and also give land to UMKM, to low-income people, to green project, and so on. So they will get reduction in GWM up to 4%. And for Islamic banks, they already receive 3.41%, and this is equivalent around 22.5 trillion as an incentive from KLM policy for Islamic banks. And also the other things that related with the initiative innovation for the instrument. Again, we work together and collaboration in Jama'ah with other in ministries and institution. We develop cash wakaf link sukuk, which is right now is already amounted $3.5 million, and the progress of the application of digital technology to improve the transparency, efficiency, and accountability. And we also expect that the progress of the Islamic social finance, like the one we developed together with other ministries, cash wakaf link sukuk, that can support the low-cost financing allocated to poverty alleviation program. And today is already collection for the Islamic Social Fund around, for this Islamic Social Funds, as September already helped lift almost 600,000 people out of poverty. And another innovative way, we right now together with commercial fund offer bundle financing, which cover broader outreach for the society. And also in terms of your second question related with technology and so on, we right now using the digital technology application in halal value chain industry, and also use of the Internet of Things and economic empowerment for Islamic boarding school. So, Pak Dadang, I hope the progress for Islamic financial system in Indonesia will continue, and but yes, we believe that what Pak Perry mentioned earlier, we need more sukuk, yeah. Because I just look at the global situation. If we compare sukuk global with the conventional global, it's only around 0.7%. And I think the size, the number is not much different, yeah, in other countries like Indonesia. So that's why if we want to increase or to develop the instrument for sukuk, at least we also have to develop one thing is sukuk, yeah, and also other asset and project related with the Islamic Syariah. Maybe that's from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Excellency Ibu Destri, and it's also glad to hear that starting from stability, that liquidity is king. Of course, we have to be very, very prudent. But on the top of that, we need to also develop, with the helps and collaborations with other relevant institutions, and to bring benefits more to the more segments of the people. And then, of course, if I may move on to Ibu Excellency Ibu Kiki, connecting to what's been said by Excellency Pak Adnan, and then also Professor Dennis. At the end of the day, we need preference of the market. If more and more people are keen to really utilize and use Islamic financial products, but the question is, how are we going to educate the people that Islamic finance is not only for Muslim, for example, but it will bring benefit to all society, including the environment. So can you share with us, Ibu, about the programs that's been set by the OJK in this literacy program?
Thank you, Dr. Datang. Good morning all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me say thank you first to Ibu Destri and all colleagues from Bank of Indonesia for having us, for having OJK to speak in this very honorable session, events, ISEF. ISEF is a proof that Bank Indonesia is walk the talk that Governor Perry and also Ibu Destri mentioned about collaboration and synergy. This ISEF is actually giving a platform or opportunity to all those who concerned about Sharia development in economic and finance to meet and to share ideas and to, like Governor Perry, give you task, Dr. Dadang, to make a summary, to make a follow-up from all this discussion. Thank you, Dr. Dadang. Before I touch on your question, let me share with you that OJK, we were formed with the task of twin peak supervision, internal twin peak supervision. So we do prudential supervision and also market conduct supervision. So all the panelists also mentioned about innovation in products and development. And so here, Pak Dadang, OJK always support the financial industry to have innovation to make the Sharia financial sectors grow rapidly. But at the same time, we also concern on the consumer protection. So we support all the development in the financial sectors, but not in expense of consumer protection. And when we do the consumer protection, also we do the education, financial literacy, and also inclusion that Dr. Dadang mentioned. We understand that all the efforts to do all the innovation in products, how to create more products, will not be sustained if there is no demand on that. So before, I would like to also share with you the current development of Islamic finance asset in financial sector. Currently in August this year, is around 2,700 trillion rupiah. This consists of 900 trillion from banking sectors, 1,600 from capital market, and also the rest is from non-bank financial institution. So actually, if we look back in the 2018, actually this number already grew significantly. We remember at the time the number around 1,800 trillion rupiah, Dr. Dadang. So if we derive from 2020, So it's growth like 8.8% each year. So we really appreciate the collaborative efforts to make this Syariah financial sectors grow significantly in Indonesia. We also see all the other development in economic, in Sharia economy for like what we had last night, Ibu Destria, for the fashion, halal fashion, halal culinary and everything. Indonesia is, I think, is doing very good and we are proud of it. And as OJK, what we do, Pak Dadang, so we support all the development in the regulatory framework. So to make, to have finance sectors have a clear regulation in Sharia financial development. And also in the financial literacy and also inclusion. I can share with you also, we just recently launched index done by OJK and also National Bureau of Statistics in Indonesia. The number is surprisingly that previously the literacy index for Sharia finance was about only 9%. The number is like consistently at 9%, but this year, the number that we launched this year is 39%. So this, thank you to all of you who participate in the development of Sharia market in Indonesia. But the inclusion index, Sharia inclusion index, still in the number of 12%. So this is, I think, the homework all of us here, how to make this inclusion index improve in Sharia sectors in financial. There are a lot of issues here, Pak Dadang, but because you asked about what are our programs, let me share with you our programs. We have so many education programs for people in Indonesia. We have 10 priority segments, including women, people in the rural area, MSMEs and everything. And also, of course, we do both for conventional and also for Sharia product. For Sharia, we also have a specific program. Let me share with you that OJK has like BI also have a team for inflation, yeah, in the region. We also have a teamwork, what's so-called TPAKD. It's actually a team collaborate with the regional government. Yeah, we have now 541 team across region in Indonesia, in 37 province and all cities. We work together with them how to improve the financial literacy and also inclusion in Indonesia. So we have specific for Sharia, we have what's so-called EPICS, yeah, Ecosystem Pesantren Inclusive Keuangan Syariah. So we work in the Islamic boarding school, not only to teach Islamic finance and economic for the students, but also for the teachers and also for the community among the MSME as well, because we see that usually Islamic boarding school, they also have collaboration with the people surround them, and also they have like nurturing the MSME. So we nurturing them to have a financial access for Islamic banking, for example, Islamic finance, for example, and other initiative that we think that we see this really give significant result on the development of the financial literacy and financial inclusion in Sharia matters in Indonesia. Also, Dr. Dadang and audience, we also support, we also mandate all the financial institutions to do the education efforts for the people. So we mandate them to do at least twice a year. But of course, for those who really active in doing education and literacy program, they do more than twice a year. But we encourage all sectors, especially like in banks, capital market, and insurance, pension fund, and all, to have a financial literacy education program for the people. I think this is also very good, and we want this as a collaborative efforts. And this year, Pak Dadang, we just launched a national program, national campaign for Indonesia. We call Gencarkan. It's a Gerakan Nasional Cerdas Keuangan. This we encourage all financial sectors to do work hand in hand together, collaborative action to educate people, especially for those who have not been touched yet. For example, in Syariah education, so we do mapping. We encourage them to come to area that is barely seen, barely visited by financial sectors, to give literacy and also inclusion at the same time. Pak Dadang, if we talk about inclusion, this is also for you from Syariah financial sectors to think about. I visited a place, one village in Java. I'm not talking about outside Java yet. I'm talking about a village in Java. They really want to open account in Syariah bank, but there is no branch there. And also the internet access is not good there. So they really, actually they want to do inclusion in a Syariah product, but they don't have access. So this is, I think, homework for all of us. If we want to increase and boosting the number of people who are interested and also can access, although having bank account or having a loan, credit and everything. So I think this is something that we have to think together, work together, how to make it happen to improve the index that previously like only 12% from Syariah product inclusion in Indonesia. I think that's from me, Dr. Datang. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Excellency Bu Kiki. And I took the very fundamental message is how to create a conducive environment for investment, which also serve the customer protection, because that is very important. And again, it bound to the outreach, how we can deliver the service efficiently, prudently, which is very, very important to achieve the Pareto improve. It's this new equilibrium in the market that can provide more comfort to the investors. And after listening to the first 5 panelists, then I will throw it all to you, Sister Amani, on how IFSB can respond as the international regulatory status. There are issues about how can we develop the efficient money market, and then standardization that the IFSB can take lead in these issues, because according to Excellency Ibu Destri, that again, liquidity is the king. Because, without sufficient liquidity, Islamic Bank, just like other banks, can be thrown into insolvency just in days. So what is the initiatives will be taken by the IFSB? And then when we talk about the values, like we have heard from Excellency Bapak Adnan, that there is the effort to put more value through Maqasid Syariah, which goes along with the global initiatives, like why the global community wants to join in the value of the IFRS, which is profit motive, with the GRI, which contains the SDGs. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Dadang. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning. Thank you so much for inviting us to be part of this panel. The core objectives of the IFSB essentially is to promote the stability and soundness of the Islamic financial services industry through two key objectives, which is setting standards for prudential regulation and supervision, as well as facilitating the implementation of those standards. So we can look at those issues in relation to our standard development initiatives, as well as implementation support, which also now has an increased focus in our strategic plan, in terms of not only looking at implementation of the standards, but also supporting members in terms of market development, including issues around financial inclusion, deepening the Islamic capital markets, because these things relate to financial stability as well. So there's a lot of ongoing work, and a lot of the work that will be upcoming in a new strategic plan in the upcoming period will also focus on market development, particularly focusing on the non-banking sector as well. Our standards on the banking side have matured. We have covered the core principles for all three sectors, and so our focus will be increasing on addressing the remaining gaps, essentially a lot of the things that were discussed here. So we will have an increased focus on those areas, as well as assisting members in understanding the existing standards, implementing them through enhanced capacity building initiatives, as well as expanded focus on technical assistance and operationalizing that technical assistance framework to provide hands-on technical support essentially to members, particularly in emerging Islamic finance markets, to address a lot of the issues that members are facing in terms of developing their markets, as well as ensuring that there are effective regulatory and supervisory frameworks in place.
Okay, thank you. Before I conclude, allow me to throw a question coming from the floor that has been, consolidated, which the question is about more on the global initiatives, on how the international regulatory sectors, including the IMF, for example, Bapak Abdullah, perhaps what kind of initiatives can be formulated among us? Again, collaborations. Country cannot go alone. IFSB also cannot go alone. You need to collaborate. And then what kind of initiative that is in your mind that can be initiated among us to further develop? Yes, we can understand that implementation of standards is the effort on how we could, achieve more prudence in the operations. But again, prudence is not enough. We need to really develop more progressively. Perhaps can we start from Pak Abdullah, and then later we can continue to Amani.
All right. I think what we have been doing at our level, we are not really focusing on the Islamic specificities at this point, because looking at the overall financial sector, we try to do something like diagnostic assessment, trying to understand what are the specific areas that need to be tackled first, and from there we zoom to by region as well as by the countries. So that is what we have been doing at the current stage. In terms of providing some sort of like technical assistance, this is where our focus is more tailored specifically to the countries. When we identify this, based on the diagnostic assessment, based on our diagnostic assessment. Technical assistance is part and parcel of how we ensure that, the soundness and stability of the system in the countries. So these are the areas that we have been working on with among the international financial institutions, as well as by our regional technical assistance centers in helping the member countries.
Okay, thank you very much, Bapak Abdullah. And for you, Ibu Amani, Can you respond? Is there any initiatives from the IFSB, perhaps by inviting collaboration with more other international institutions, including the members of the IFSB, to come up with the more initiatives, including perhaps the ventures towards digitalizations in Islamic finance?
Thank you so much. I think collaboration cuts across essentially all of our activities in terms of meeting the needs of members, as well as making sure that the policy development side is also consistent with the work of other international organizations as well as members in terms of implementation as well. So collaboration would be quite important in the policy development side, as well as in terms of our research program, where, for example, the emerging risks, particularly addressing issues around digitalization, sustainability, we can leverage on our members who are working on these issues to collaborate on in-depth analysis of the issues facing members and addressing them. And in terms of implementation as well, we're looking at collaboration in terms of technical assistance, as well as collaboration in relation to knowledge transfer, dissemination of sound practices, effective practices across jurisdictions as well as increasing awareness of Islamic finance across member jurisdictions. So our members are at different levels of development and different levels of advancement. So collaboration is quite important in disseminating good sound practices, as well as effective regulatory and supervisory frameworks, as well as sharing experiences across members as well. So I think our members are very important in terms of engagement, in terms of our work across all of the activities, policy development, implementation, as well as research, as well as data collection. So we have a task force on data collection. We are looking at enhancing that into risk monitoring towards emerging risks as well, to incorporate that into a vulnerability assessment framework as well. So across all of these areas, I think collaboration is quite important.
Okay, thank you very much. Before concluding, I would like to thank Professor Dennis, Bapak Abdullah, for allocating your time. It's quite late in DC, I guess. And thank you also for Bapak Excellency DJ Adnan, Ibu Excellency Ibu Destri, and Excellency Ibu Kiki and Amani. And inshallah, we have a lot of knowledge and insight that we have today from our session, that again, as also it's been instructed, that we, the team from Indonesia, really need to make a summary and to make this push forward, to the development of Islamic finance. Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hand this over to the MC.
Thank you, moderator and honorable speakers, but don't leave just yet, because we would like to have a group photo together. Let's have a group photo together, moderator and speakers.